Well, Robert Kiyosaki is the author of #1 personal finance book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and has warned that US financial markets are heading towards their worst crash ever. But he believes the best time to prepare for a crash is before the crash, saying there is more money to be made from certain values while they're down. Robert Kiyosaki joins me live now from Arizona in the US. Robert, thanks so much for your time. We're looking at a situation right around the world at the moment. No one has been able to avoid COVID-19. Governments are printing money. Where's this all headed?
Well, first of all, I want to say Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I love your country. And we're in a bubble. It's more than a bubble. It's a mania. And so the Harry Dent and I are coming to town. We're going to be talking about the causes of this massive mania, because it's more than a bubble. This is like the South Sea bubble or the tulip mania in Holland. Because everybody's nuts. I mean, you look at what's it came? Reddit and GameStop and Robinhood, they're all going public. This is nuts. And that's what happens when you print so much money. So everybody's feeling this euphoria. It's like they're drunk, it's the highest, they're drunk on lager. But when it comes down, it's going to be horrible. So Harry and I talk about, it's not so much that when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen, it's just what do you do after it happens. And I think that's the question, because Harry and I agree on the cause of the bubble. We don't agree on what you should do about the bubble.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Australia's economy, Robert, was booming before this latest outbreak in Sydney. I mean, our unemployment rate was lower than before the pandemic. We see growth coming back in a big way, and the economy doing really well. Is it sustainable?
No. And the reason is the problem isn't the stock market or real estate market or Aussie. It has to do with the source of the US dollar. Back on September 17, 2019, there was a crash in what's called the repo market. And the Fed injected trillions of dollars to keep it from crashing in 2019. So now in 2021, it's called a reverse repo. The biggest banks in America are giving the money back to the Fed, and the Fed keeps printing more money. So this is a mania more than a bubble. So that's my concern.
Yeah, and Robert, I think you'd agree with me here that history does show that when you have huge global shocks like this, I mean, we're all thinking, just a couple of weeks ago, particularly here in Sydney, that we might have got out of this in a really good way. But we know from history that recessions can often come 2, 3 or 4 years after.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you're correct. I've been coming to Aussie since '72 to play rugby union. I love you guys. I love your country. It's a rich country, but it's kind of a boom and bust economy too. And my concern is your commercial market, your commercial real estate markets, they're floating on fake financing. So once that starts to go, your bond markets go, then your stock markets go, then the real estate market goes. Now, the good news is that's the best time to get rich is during a crash. Like I keep saying to all my friends in Aussie, if David Jones raised their prices 500%, would you go shopping? Well, most idiots would. But if David Jones said, hey, we're giving 50% off, that's when the people should go shopping. So when the crash comes, it's the best time to go shopping.
So what do you invest in now?
Aussie, I would be buying your real estate. You have fantastic real estate. I love your country.
I think plenty of people are doing that, to be fair, looking at the prices and the way they've gone up in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy at your prices now. That'd be nuts. I'm not stupid. But like I said, there are these bubbles throughout history. There was a South Sea bubble and the tulipomania bubble. During the time in Holland, I think the price of a tulip bulb went into the millions of dollars. And it was so crazy until somebody ate one of their tulip bulbs thinking it was an onion. Then people realized it was just a tulip bulb and the whole thing crashed. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen. And this crash is going to be led by the United States. The good news for China is you guys are close. Good news for Aussie, you guys are close to China. I'm afraid America-Chinese relationships will only get worse. And if, not saying what that does happen, but if we go to war over Taiwan, it's going to be hell. So I watch all those things and go, I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed. And Australia's relationship with China hasn't been all that smooth in recent times either. I mentioned at the start of our conversation, you are the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's probably how people know you best. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about whether we are teaching people enough in primary school, in high school, about money. And this really goes alongside with what an Aussie is trying to do at the moment. His name's Scott Pape. He's the barefoot investor. You may have heard of him, and he's trying to get politicians to wake up and do this in schools. How important is it in your view?
Yeah, I'm an old man. You're getting my blood pressure up. I don't know why we don't teach money in schools. But worst of all, I'm going to say something that's really terrible, is that most school teachers are socialists. They're not capitalists. I'm a capitalist. My rich dad was a capitalist. My poor dad was actually a Marxist. So, but they don't know that because they don't study Marx, Stalin, Lenin, Mao, Hitler in school. So most of our teachers think like socialists or Marxists, and that's what they're teaching the kids.
It's very interesting indeed. You've given us a lot to think about. Thanks so much for your time. Let's speak soon.
And again, Aussie is the greatest place on earth. So when it crashes, start shopping.
Well, it might be a bit difficult for you to get back here in the next couple of months, but good luck if you can do it.
Thank you.